And now in our business update, the Addis Ababa Chamber of Commerce and Sectoral Association has launched the 25th annual Addis Chamber International Trade Fair at the Addis Ababa Exhibition Center. The chamber has attracted more than 70 local and international companies, including those from Yemen and Sudan. Kasaun Chane reports.
The 25th International Trade Fair at the Addis Ababa Chamber of Commerce and Sector Association, with a theme enhancing export for sustainable development, has officially inaugurated. Numerous local and foreign businesses are exhibiting their goods at the fair in order to build networks and connections for future businesses. Speaking at the event, Masambat Shungute, president of the Addis Ababa Chamber of Commerce and Sector Association, said that the government is undertaking efforts to advance a market-oriented economy that is based on the demand of global business.
International trade has now turned out into a tightly knit web of interconnectedness. In such a competitive global business platform, there are numerous sectors that come to the scene to play their own parts. Companies of different nationalities converge at a global marketplace with the aim of winning. Therefore, when it comes to trading, promoting one's own is of really a paramount importance. In this regard, dynamic and innovative promotional works enable suppliers to meet the taste and preference of buyers, upon which trust can develop between the two. International trade fairs, similar to the one we are staging today, among others, provide opportunities for exhibitors and visitors to conduct business talks, inspect items in person, and compare quality and prices of multiple suppliers.
On his part, State Minister for Trade and Regional Integration, Ndalo Makonnen, also underscored that his ministry is striving to promote export trade in addition to enabling the private manufacturing sector.
The major source of our foreign currency is our export sector, which is largely automated by the private sector. The government duly recognizes that the private sector should be in the driver's seat to our national economy locomotion. Honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, as you may all know, that government has been doing strongly in its capacity to achieve a projected economic growth of 7.5% under the current fiscal year. To this effect, the macroeconomic indicators achieved so far are promising in relation to achieving the projected growth by the end of this year. Special emphasis was given to the agricultural sector, the transformation of which can significantly contribute to the overall export growth. This is, however, cannot be achieved without a wider participation of the private sector.
Some participants from the manufacturing sector remarked that the show helped them to exchange knowledge, display their products, and further develop their businesses.
Okay, my name is Yaqeen Hassan. I'm from Sudan, and I'm here representing a Said factory for manufacturing and packaging food products. So we're a Sudanese-based company. We are a group. We own 3 factories. This is one of the factories. This is the newest one. It was established in 2016. We specialized in high-quality cheese products. We sell processed cheese, or we produce processed cheese. We take really good care of our products, and we take really pleasure in only importing high-quality material, high-quality raw material, even with our production. We take really good measures with it, so we can produce high-quality products, and we can also customize it to the local preferences.
Now, the Ethiopian Civil Aviation Authority has called on private sectors to invest in the aviation industry, including the construction and management of small airports and heliports. Speaking at a press conference, Civil Aviation Director General Getachew Mengiste said although Ethiopia is a role model in air transport in Africa, the country is at a very low level compared to other African countries in terms of development of small airports used for domestic air transport services. Shagamata has more on that.
Airport is one key infrastructure for the expansion of air transport in the aviation industry. Currently, there are 22 airports, including 4 international airports, that are providing regular services in Ethiopia, despite insufficient in number and capacity. Speaking at a press conference, Civil Aviation Director General Getachew Mengiste underscored that although Ethiopia is leading in air transport service in Africa, the country is low compared to African countries in terms of construction and management of air transports and heliports.
There are a handful of small airstrips that provide various services for mega projects, mining, agriculture, recreation, humanitarian and other uses. The country has a limited amount of airport infrastructure compared to the population of Ethiopia. The country has also limited airports compared to other African countries.
The reason for the limited number of airports in the country is that the construction and management of airports fall mainly on the shoulders of the federal government, Mengiste explained.
The problem is that the expansion of airports is slowly given to the federal government. As a result, the ACAA has formulated a rule and regulation that could involve private investors, regional governments, and city administrations and non-governmental organizations in the construction and management of air transports.
Explaining the principle of the directive on how regional governments and private actors participate in the airport expansion industry, Msrak Talahun, Aviation Regulation Acting Director General at ECAA, indicated that the airport infrastructure shall abide by a master plan and it also shall involve regional governments and private actors.
የኤርፖርት መሰረተ ልማት በማስተር ፕላን ነው ሊመራ የሚገባው።
The airport infrastructure regulation shall be governed by master plan. This means the master plan will be based on market demand and equity principle. It also determines how, where and when the airport will be built in the country. The directive also involves private company, city administrations, regional governments and other in the construction of airports and heliports.
Government, city administration, The
authority has pledged to provide appropriate technical support for private sector airport developers, and it has developed a system and monitoring mechanism to help private sectors involved in the construction and management of small airports and heliports. It was learned.
It was difficult to understand why Ethiopia didn't have a stock market. We scoured the world. For example, an economy of Ethiopia's size, but close to $130 billion, that doesn't have a stock market anywhere in the world, you can't find. So these are like the 5 pillars. Now, within each one of them, there are subsectors, right? So when we talk about manufacturing, Ethiopia has excellent opportunity to attract labor-intensive manufacturing, clothing, shoes, that kind of stuff. You know, one of the reasons I always focus on this is because labor-intensive industries that used to go to China, simple word, Ethiopia is open for business. I mean, I think that's the best way to just, if we are to give it a tagline, open for business, right? But I will answer yours specific. So, one of the most exciting reforms, what I call a mega reform, that has happened in the last 2 years in the economic sector, is telecoms.
You're still watching Addis News Hour. Now moving to continental news, drought trends in the Horn of Africa are now worse than they were during the 2011 famine, in which hundreds of thousands of people died. And close to 23 million people are thought to be highly food insecure in Somalia, Ethiopia and Kenya. That's according to a food security working group chaired by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization and the Regional Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD. Daniel Casaon has more on that.
Drought trends in the Horn of Africa are now worse than they were during the 2011 famine, in which hundreds of thousands of people died. Close to 20 million people are thought to be highly food insecure in Somalia, Ethiopia and Kenya, according to a food security working group chartered by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization and the Regional Intergovernmental Authority on Development. The IGAD Climate Prediction and Application Center said on Wednesday that below normal rainfall is expected during the rainy season over the next 3 months. According to the drought caused by El Nino and higher temperatures linked to climate change, now in the midst of ever more drought, the situation has become catastrophic, causing drops to rainfall and cattle to die. Drier than normal conditions have also increased in parts of Burundi, eastern Tanzania, Rwanda, and western southern Sudan, the center added.
Continues to do so now. This platform that has brought us together today was established 11 years ago by the heads of states of the IGAD region, EAC and development partners following the severe drought of 2010 to 2011. This continues to do so now at this most critical time when we are facing the worst drought in the life of 14 years of this region. In these last 11 years, IGAD has supported member states through IDRISI to develop joint programs that targeting regional issues through programs that address development challenges in cross-border areas.
Warqina Gabayyo, the head of IGAD, urged governments and partners to act before it is too late. The drought, the longest on record in Somalia, has lasted almost 3 years and tens of thousands of people have died.
Border Development Facilitation Unit, piloted in the Karamoja clusters, service 4 countries, namely Ethiopia, Kenya, South Sudan, and Uganda, is now being scaled out to other clusters through various programs supported by IGAD, including the Borderland Resilience Project in collaboration with UNDP. Similar efforts are underway with the support of the European Union to build on proceeding cross-border development projects in 3 clusters of the region.
Nomadic pastoralists are among the hardest hit by the drought, which has left exceptional numbers of people without most of all of their livestock. They live on harsher lands and receive less support from governments. More frequent droughts are making it harder for people to recover between shocks, making them more vulnerable to the next crisis. Last month, the United Nations Resident Coordinator for Somalia warned excess dishes in the country will almost certainly surpass those of the famine declared in the country in 2011 when more than 260,000 people died of starvation.
Well, the viewers, now a quick recap of the top stories. Historian says Pan-Africanism movement is a struggle for African economic and political independence. And the Ethiopian Civil Aviation Authority calls on private sectors to invest in the aviation industry. And with that, we come to the end of today's news. Thank you so much for watching us. Bye-bye.